Hey Julian, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm paying my credit card.
Credit card?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it bad? I hear a lot of people complain about their credit card.
Okay, good question. So, in this video, we are going to talk about credit cards. What I see as the advantages of having one. And I'm sure that you guys, our followers and subscribers, would want to know more about that. So, let's begin. Hi, I'm Julian Pineda. I have been broke for half of my life, but I realized that life is so much more than just paying the bills. From being a working student to working multiple jobs for 16 hours a day, I did whatever it took, not just to survive, but to thrive. As a result, I was able to become financially free before I reached 30. My goal is to educate, inspire, and move people to be their best, and in my own way, contribute to nation building. Owning a credit card is a huge responsibility. If you are in a position wherein you are trying to make ends meet, I strongly suggest that you do not get a credit card because it is a double-edged sword. It can work for you and it can work against you. So if you are trying to make ends meet, my suggestion is you focus on your side hustles, your income generating methods. Focus on that first because the credit card is useful for different things. Now, let's talk about the wants. If you want to purchase material possessions or the wants, then a credit card may be useful for you. Take this for example. If you want to purchase, let's say, a gadget or an appliance, the worst possible situation is you will be using your credit card because you don't have money. Let's talk sense here. Let's be realistic here. If you cannot pay for it in cash, it means that you don't have that money as of the moment. Plain and simple. And if that is your situation, then you are going to be in the worst possible situation if you use your credit card. Because you don't have money, then you will be loaning for something which is a want. A gadget or an appliance or probably like a sofa or something. It's nice to have it, but if you don't really need it, you are going to be in a lot of trouble because the credit card will charge you per month if you cannot pay for it in full. Standard, as of the moment, there are banks which charge you about 3.5% per month. So if you get something worth, let's say, an appliance or a gadget worth 100,000, if you cannot pay 100,000 in full, you will be charged with an additional 3.5% of 100,000 plus the late fees and the other charges that go with it. So if you don't have that much money and you need to pay for all of this, then that's the reason why most people get into trouble because it just balloons and balloons. Now, second thing is, in the credit card statement, it shows there the balance that you need to pay and the minimum. And most people don't know this, but it says there minimum, so they're like, okay, I can pay the minimum. Why would I pay in full? So they will pay the minimum. What they don't realize is that whatever is the balance, it will be carried over to the next month plus the additional interest and the other fees. In short, it will be a compounding cycle which is against your favor. Sorry to say, but if you are in that position, then you don't need a credit card because that is the worst possible situation. Now, if you want to purchase something, and this is what the rich people do, if they have the money, they pay for it in cash, in full. And that is a better option rather than the first one. Because by doing this, you don't incur any debts. You don't need to pay any loans or any fees or any interest. And that is a nice place to be in. But here's the thing. For the richer people, they use the credit cards because they leverage on a lot of other things. And that is what is essential in most cases. That's the good thing about the credit card because it gives you a credit limit, meaning you cannot overspend beyond the limit which is set for you. So let's have a quick real talk here. Before you purchase anything, before you shop, make sure that you have enough money. Meaning you are using the credit card as a double-edged sword. It means you are using the credit card to your advantage, not to your disadvantage. So it's simple. Look at your cash on hand or look at your bank account. Do you have money to pay for this particular item, like an appliance, a gadget, or whatever? Now, if you have, then that's good. It means you can use your credit card for the leverage that I shared with you earlier. But if you look at your bank account and you don't have money, then let's be real here, then don't purchase the item. Unless, of course, it's a need. If it's a need, you have to do whatever it takes. But if it is a want, then don't purchase it altogether. Why? Simple. Some people think that, okay, I have a salary, I have a job, or I'm expecting money to come within the next few weeks and then the next few months. And what they do is they just swipe their credit cards, they buy the latest TV, the latest surround system, air conditioning, refrigerator, everything. And they're thinking, it's okay because I have a job. Next month, when I receive my salary, I will pay for my credit card. But what they don't realize is that, like what's happening right now, we are in a pandemic. Any day, you can just be cut off from your work, from your job. You could be a professional like a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant. Then all of a sudden, you don't have clients because we cannot go out because we're in lockdown or something. Then what's gonna happen? You are expecting the money to come in, but in reality, you don't have that money yet. So the credit card will work against you. So again, my lesson here is simple. If you don't have that money on hand, or if you don't have that money in your bank account, then don't use the credit card. Plain and simple. In developed countries, like in the US, for example, the credit limit is very, very important because each person has this limit, this credit standing, if you may. And the amount that you can borrow depends on that credit standing or that credit rating. Meaning, if the bank see you as a person who is a good payer, meaning you pay your bills in full and in time or before the due date, then they know that you are a responsible, reliable person. So the tendency is your credit rating or your credit standing goes up and they give you a higher credit, which means you can borrow more money. And why do you need to borrow more money? Because as earlier I've mentioned that you can purchase like gadgets and appliances, but this time with a higher credit, you can purchase the bigger items. And I'm talking about the cars, the houses, and you can use this if you have that huge and that beautiful credit rating or credit standing. Now, for companies, it also works that way. They also have this credit rating. Particularly in the US, they use rating companies such as Moody's and Standard & Poor's, and they give you this rating. And if you are in the upper rating, like the AAA or the AA's, it means that you are somebody who can be trusted, you are somebody who can pay on time, and they are more willing to lend you more money. Now, as an individual, how does this apply to you? Take this. This is my personal situation. When I started with credit cards, I just had my first business. And my credit limit was so small, as in I couldn't even buy anything with it. It was so small because it was commensurate to how much I was earning per month. So pretty much I wasn't able to do anything with it. But what I did was, my strategy was to build my credit limit. Meaning every month I would be spending that limit in full because I know that I can pay for it. Now, When I spent it in full after 6 months, the bank saw that I can pay for it in full and on time. So since they like that, they automatically, that's the word, automatically without me requesting for it, they gave me a higher limit. And then I was so shocked, and then I realized, okay, that's good. So if I don't have the discipline, it's bad because again, we will be paying more in fees. But since I am using it as a private investor, I use a lot of this money, which in my book I call it the OPT3, which is other people's treasure. Since I use that, it works for me. And then as time goes by, they see that I can pay for it and pay for it and pay for it. And I've been having this very first credit card that I have for 8 years already. And my credit limit from the very basic, it has been upgraded already. My limits rose, and my credit card right now is on a different category. Now, the best thing about this is that since the other banks are seeing that I also have a good standing with this particular bank, they also gave me different credit cards. And because of that, my limit is now super higher compared to when I started, which means I have a good standing in their records. If it means if I want to purchase a property, I have a good record. If I want to go for bigger purchases, I can because I have a bigger limit. In the event that I have an emergency, let's say, knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but let's say a family member needs to go to the hospital, I am not worried because since my limit is now bigger, I can still use my credit card to pay for this. So why do you need a credit card? Again, let's be real here. If you don't have the discipline and if you are trying to make ends meet, then don't get one. But if you are disciplined, here are my 3 top picks or top benefits of having a credit card. Number 1, you are buying time. Because as I've mentioned earlier, if you know the cutoff and the due date, you are buying time. It means you have more weeks, more months to make your money grow, revolve, so that you will have more than enough to pay for what you spend on. Next is, by using your credit cards, you also get rewards, points. And these are advantages for you because there are credit cards nowadays which has this cashback feature wherein instead of just merely points, you can have cash which you can redeem to purchase more items. Now, if you are the person who's after the points, it's good because you can redeem these points for other perks like even flight miles. If you are a traveler like myself, you can use your points to redeem more discounts for your ticket purchases or hotel accommodations. And last benefit, and for me, this is the most important, this is building your credit standing. By building your credit standing, you have a good relationship with the bank, you can your limit goes up, you can borrow more, and the best thing about that is you can even convert that into cash, meaning your credit limit, you can withdraw it, you can, now since you have cash, you can reinvest it. That's sometimes what I do if there are opportunities that come up and I am not liquid because my investments are scattered or are inside the market. What I do is I use my credit limit, get a portion of it, use that money so that I can take on these opportunities that come in my way. So that's it for this video, and I hope that you guys like it. And if you have any other questions or if there are other benefits that you want to know about credit cards, don't forget to comment it below. And as always, if you like our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.